We went. We went. And here's the question. We went. We went. We'll see if we have the proper sound. Is sound working? In 2023, is sound working? Hello? Hello, Twitch? Hello? How's the sound, Twitch? I put your volume up. Mm-hmm. You guys aren't. Oh, you know what?
You done fucked it up.
No. Let's see if it was this. Clicking some things. I had clicked you guys on. Try it again. Yeah, you should be coming through. You should be coming through.
Right. Anybody? Yes, no, maybe.
Getting that?
They can't answer you if they can't hear you.
Can you?
We are coming through, but we're really quiet. It seems
you're really quiet. Well, let's make a few adjustments here. All right, this is the first time using the.
Or at least quite quiet. Like.
Oh, let's boost you up. There you go. I boosted you up because I have this really. Whoa!
Just toss that bitch up.
You're really loud to me now, so hopefully you're not killing the chat.
There we go.
All right, chat. Are we killing you? Are you deafened by us now?
Better.
I said better.
This is our first show with our new beacon software that McLeod told me that I had to buy, and it's really funny. So first time I bought the wrong beacon device last year. Okay.
Yep.
Let's be clear. Okay. These things are not cheap either, right? But the cheap one isn't too bad, right? So then I bought the right beacon device, but somehow I clicked 2. So I have 2. Okay.
See, this is why people couldn't get these devices because
people like me,
like you buying twice as many as you need,
hoarding them, right? But then when I opened up, I said, "Holy crap! I bought 2." Okay, I forget how much they cost too, but I bought 2, and then I go, well, maybe I should be able to just take one back, right? No, I was beyond the take back day, right? So now I have 2. And so
you can, if you are feeling generous, if you're feeling sort of, festive and generous still, you can give one to somebody that you really like or feels that they deserve. Quite simple.
Is there anybody you would suggest, McLeod? Like maybe you?
I do have a microphone that I think is fairly decent, but I wouldn't say no to a beacon mic.
I'm just sending it to you. We're just mailing it.
Don't send it to my old address because I've moved. Remember,
I don't even know what your old address is. So yeah,
okay,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. Just because
some random person in West London getting some random beacon mic and going, wait, what?
But
what even is this?
Since this is our first show of 2023, we're going to give a shout out to my current favorite Twitter person that everybody should follow, Hannah Leiner, Leiner. Maybe no. She's a fantastic golfer. Very good.
She's a good golfer. Yes,
she can. We're just gonna say,
amongst other redeemable qualities that Eric has suggested, she definitely sort of
she can chip shot it into the hole.
Yeah.
Off of anything. Okay, that's all we're gonna say. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I like fun people like that. By the way, she is also one of the 2 women that sponsors a community group to help women golfers and women get into the sport of golf. So that's actually how I found her. Everything else is just gratuitous.
Everything else was a bonus, right?
Look, and by the way, I have not shaved even my neck, so I'm neck bearding it, right? Since into the new year here. So we're
such a neck beard. Yeah.
By the way, I've been ranting at Twitch
Hi,
too
Armandus.
because every once in a while Twitch just decides that my browser is not supported and I can't log in on any browser under the sun to any of my Twitch accounts.
It's
And
okay. I can't get Twitch to actually play right now, so
Really?
it just gets stuck.
Just
It just gets stuck on the ad screen and doesn't move anywhere.
So we're so happy that everybody is here for 2023. This is our first show of 2023, right?
yay. Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. We got our new sound mixer, which kind of seems to be working okay. I do really like its layout. Cloud. I mean,
It's
I like
meant
the fact,
to be much more user friendly. Yeah.
oh my god, I can just like turn things off to the audience with like buttons or it's cool.
Yeah,
Super cool.
There's still obviously, as you saw at the start of the show, a little bit of teething kind of problems, just sort of ironing out the first, like the initial kind of stuff. But like, once Eric's there, once Eric's there, it's good. Like exactly, it balked differently, but overall, it's balked differently. Oh right, no, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. That's basically that's Eve's stuff that we can't talk about for another 13 minutes.
Yeah, is it really a push to talk show if we're not having audio issues when Eric is
It would be
problem.
weird.
This is supposed to
That's
solve
usually
our
'cause
audio
he accidentally
issues.
mutes us, not.
Yeah, I don't know how you got
it's
muted.
all
That
manner
was
of
kind of
anything.
strange.
Yeah.
By the way, I will tout my own channel, Guinea Dudes, for our 3 male guinea pigs. They're super cool.
Yeah, where are they? Why are they not?
We will be.
They
Focus.
will stream sometime in the next couple hours for sure.
Why are they not here with us?
Why are they not here?
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Well,
I mean, what else could they be doing? Do they
Well,
have jobs?
They sleep too, right? They get
I'm
little
sure
thing,
that
and
people
they're
would be
not doing
quite
anything.
happy to.
The funny,
I'm sure that people would be quite happy to watch them sleep.
you really can't see them. They're kind of under their little plaid cover. They have a plaid cover.
Yeah.
It's nice and warm. But they just run around like in a circle. Like, they've got like
just too much energy. Just too much energy, and they need to burn it off. And the only way that they think that they can burn it off is just running here, there, everywhere. If it just means in a circle, then fair enough.
Each little panel is like 14 inches, so they're in a 6x2 kind of little pen upstairs that's elevated, and they're super funny. Like I came in this morning at 7:30, and I just sat down beside them, and they all came out looking like, "Hey, dude, you got any food? How you doing?" Like they're all looking at me like I have an audience of guinea pigs looking at me, right? And I'm like, I don't have any food. And then they go over and they start eating their food and their hay and everything. They like to come out when people are there. They're not so much active when we're not sitting there with them, which is kind of weird. But, we haven't let them out to run around the room
I
yet.
get that. I absolutely understand that general sensation. If you have people around, then you generally have to put in more effort.
Yes. I'm gonna check real quick. I'm gonna see if they're busy at all. If they're hanging out, what they're doing, because they are. One dude's eating. He's eating some hay. Everybody else seems to be sleeping.
I love that Eric is this like guinea pig dork now.
I am a little bit of a dork.
He absolutely is. Yeah.
Well, so we haven't had pets since we were married. Well, my wife and I, we started with 2 cats, but that didn't last long. Oh, they're all 3 out now, coming to hang out. For those who don't know, we got 3 guinea pigs for the 3 kids for Christmas, and they are super social and super fun. They're named Luffy after an anime dude, and then there is Bacon, and then there is Teddy after Teddy Roosevelt, because apparently he had guinea pigs. So
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
So,
random
You know
presidential
who else?
trivia.
Yeah.
You know who else has guinea pigs as of this Christmas?
Who?
The Rock.
No, you're kidding me.
The Rock has guinea pigs.
He got guinea pigs for his kids.
Wow.
Oh.
Well,
Wow.
we
Well,
were
there
gonna
you
get
go.
we were gonna get a hamster, but I did research, and sometimes hamsters bite, and they're not social, and they're not very social. And then guinea pigs were social, but you can't have one. You have to have two,
Right.
where they get lonely.
They do.
And
You know what? You know the. Oh, this is a really weird anecdote. I had a friend who, was very sociable. Very,
Mhm.
really cool kind of, really cool girl. Like, lived in, sort of like a kind of communal sort of student house sort of thing, but she had two rats as like as
Mhm.
pets. Actually, very clean. You always get that. You always have that kind of like stigmatism of like, oh, rats are always dirty. Like, no, these are very, very
Rats as
clean. This kind of
pets,
thing. As
generally
pets, yeah,
like good pets.
yeah, they're
It, it,
actually surprisingly decent. Yeah,
it's one of those weird things where, like, yeah, sure, if they live in the wild, then they could be a bit like,
well, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
wild.
Well, if they
as
live
you
in the
expect,
wild,
but-
if they live in the wild, they're dirty because that's where they're finding food.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
exactly.
actually probably very
Right?
true. Yes.
But as pets, generally pretty chill.
Yeah, yeah. So she had these two lesbian rats. So
Well,
Did
it
you
was such a
know
strange
their
thing.
sexuality, or you
Okay.
just
It was. Well, they. I mean, I guess like she described them as that, but like I think it was just a case of like, dominant sort of like
yeah.
one of them always, would invariably have to sort of, or invariably sort of exert dominance as such, and animals have a tendency to do that in a variety of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
I will tell you that
So-
3 male guinea pigs exert dominance by one humping the other's head. So,
Yes. So that's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
by the way, we got a follow
So
from
what-
Purple Haze. Thank you very much.
Awesome. While we're here on this completely off-topic moment, it's probably a good time to note that because it's push talk and we have Dawn Rare with us today, we do have the
Yeah.
Dawn rule in effect.
Right.
Yes.
Which-
Yes, we do.
Which requires that the first 20 minutes of the show is spent on just
And
general.
I don't
like,
even get to be here
catching
the
up.
whole time.
I will-
This is bullshit. You
You
should do the Don Raya rule at the end of the show.
We can
need
do
to
that.
make sure that we have some time to just catch up with
It's
each
just
other and with you guys and kind of see like what's going on. And then after this, we'll get into Eve talk and gaming talk and all sorts of other things. But yeah, Dawn Rule
Absolutely.
for the first 20 minutes, so we've got like 6
I'm-
minutes still to go.
I'm totally fine, Purple Haze, for us being a little weird. Like, we have to fill the time in between now and actually talking about EVE Online. So,
Yeah.
that's why you get talk about, lesbian rats and particular
Well-
golfers that Eric seems to be
Hey.
following on
And
on
head
Twitter.
humping guinea pigs.
And head humping guinea pigs, yes.
Hey, in a positive note, I mean, it's negative/positive. I told you guys earlier in the show, but some people might know. My kitty cat got really sick this week. He had a blockage in his bladder, and it caused an infection, and his kidneys were starting to fail. And we were able to save him. Let me tell you, this motherfucker's bladder is worth $761 apparently. So
Oof.
She's very, very like disappointed by that particular number right now.
fucking bitch.
I will tell you right now that that feeling of everything is fine. Fucking goddamn cat. Yeah, that's normal.
And I mean, it's not like his fault. It's not like he did.
No, but
anything,
no, that is totally normal, Don. Like that.
well,
yeah.
because like
Yeah.
it was the
Be absolute dicks.
It
to
is-
know
it's-
this on a
it's
very
fine.
personal level.
It's fine to lament the passing of that many dollars from your wallet, from your purse, from your bank account, whatever, and also be thankful that you still have your furry friend. It's fine.
Mhm.
yeah. Like I was just like, just take. Like I didn't see him all of Sunday. Monday night. So all of Monday, I could not find him. But that's not unheard of. Like sometimes he just sleeps under a bed and I can't, I don't know which one. So no big deal. I was just like, all right, I'll just look for him in the morning. In the morning, he comes like walking down the hallway and he's like, just really pathetic. And I'm like, oh, baby, what's wrong? And he's like, meow, pee. And he starts like kind of like wheezing after most of his breaths. Not like bad, but I was like, oh, it sounds like he's getting a respiratory infection, bronchitis. We'll just take him into the vet. They can give him an antibiotic shot and cut it off before it gets too bad and he's not, suffering. And so I take him in and, I pull him out of his carrier while waiting for the vet. And I'm like, why are you wet? So I checked. He hadn't gone to the bathroom in there, but then there was some red staining on his fur because he's a bright white cat. And I was like, uh-oh, what's going on, honey? So then the vet checks him and he's like, this cat's in critical condition. Like, we need to go now. And I was like, okay. So he takes him in the back and he tells me, he's like, yeah, his bladder's backed up and he's got a 50-50 shot of living. And I was like,
Jesus.
So I was crying and I was just like, and he's like basically giving me the choice. He's like, it's going to be possibly 2 to 3 days of hospitalization and he still may not recover. Basically saying like, it's going to be expensive. Do you want to spend the money to try and save him or not? Was kind of like what the conversation was happening. And I'm just like, well, let's do one night and see how he does. And then, if he, goes in the positive direction, then, we can keep going from there. If he doesn't, then I won't have him, suffer. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's a great, like, conversation to have to, like, come into. Just like, motherfucker.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I remember when I was in my teens somewhere, and that's back when the car fan was by a belt that wasn't electric. Back in the antique days of cars, the animals would get up in the engine because it was warm, and our cat was an indoor-outdoor cat. She's a beautiful white cat with blue eyes. She snuggled up there on that engine, man. My dad turned the engine on, and white fur went everywhere. Right. By the way, this is it's not a bad ending to this story. She lived a very long time, but took it to the vet. I forget how much it put it, but it was, I think it was over $1,000 back in the 80s.
Oh, someone asked, did the kitty pull through? So I called on Tuesday to the vet, and he said, I'm surprised, but his numbers are going up or the correct direction they're supposed to. So, he seems to be responding pretty well. So I'm like, okay, let's do one more night. And then yesterday they're like, I don't know how, but he's doing really, really well. So you can take him home today. And so I brought him home last night. And he's like kind of stumbling around because he's still kind of woozy from the stress of being in the vet office and stuff. And I'm just like watching him like a hawk. Like, are you eating? Are you drinking?
Are you peeing?
Use the litter box. Well, you know what's the most surefire way to get a cat to go to the bathroom on command? Is put fresh litter. If you mess with their litter box at all and add fresh litter, they instantly must go put something in it.
Marking territory, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, that's true.
So I was just like, okay, I want to make sure, because they said he went to the bathroom in the vet
every
office.
6 hours, like clockwork.
Well, he went to the bathroom in the vet's office. What do? They just give him something for his bladder? Or do they actually operate?
Oh, they didn't have to operate, but apparently his bladder was almost at rupture capacity, like it was really full, and they had to use a catheter.
Okay.
So they went up. Thank God it's not a very long up, but they went up, and then they had to just deal with the infection. So they gave him some antibiotics and just kind of once again just watch him and let his body.
Okay, so he didn't have a urinary stone or anything that developed. He just
he didn't have a stone.
Okay, good.
It was crystals. So as cats get older, sometimes they don't process proteins properly, and protein crystals will build up, and it can block the urinary tract.
Yeah, Dirk knows that feeling.
They're definitely a cat tether.
Cat tether.
So yeah, but he's okay now so far. They said that he could get another blockage in within 2 days, just because of trying to process through his old food and stuff. But now he's got to be on special food. It's not like hard to get, but it's just like, ugh, it's expensive.
Yeah, costs more.
Stupid cat.
Yeah.
You're lucky. I love you.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Bobby loves you.
Yeah. Yeah. Our cat ended up getting, back in the day, 212 stitches and a cast all the way up her back leg.
Ouchie.
For months it was broken, and she walked around and thumped with this little cast, right? Because it was big. It was like around her hip, even, right? It was a big cast, and she got lucky. She got sliced and she got broken leg, but hair all grew back. She walked normally, after that, and 212 stitches. It's a lot of stitches.
Yep.
But yeah, we had a good vet.
It's been what, like 3 weeks? So, like, how was everyone's Christmas, New Year? You all have a good time, spend some time relaxing and having a holiday, I guess.
It's never relaxing for me.
Well, you just don't know how to relax, but that's kind of you.
No, my sister was up, which meant the dog was up.
Ah.
And apropos to our other conversations, this means I have to constantly be on the lookout for, is the dog about to try to kill the cat?
Well, your cat is still trying to kill you, so.
It's true. He's
Yes,
like over
but,
there.
She's a cat. That's what she's supposed to do.
Very true.
That's awesome. It's a cat. It's what she does.
They are murder machines. Every now and then you just have to remind them, I am not a small animal.
I don't
You'd think that they would kind of get that sort of, understanding fairly easily.
No.
But,
So Brenda's had his sister with her dog visiting. I noticed she didn't come to Pittsburgh and tell me you were here. Sad. But yeah. So let's just go around the room too. So Brenda, let's go to Mac. How was your holiday?
Yeah, mine was fairly decent. Like, I was closer to sort of family, so I was able to see see more of my family, which was awesome. My sister kind of had a bit of an issue because she got COVID like a few days before Christmas, so like she had to stay isolated at home over Christmas, which really sucked. But she's fine. She pulled through. She tested negative, and everything's fine in that regard. So yeah, it's all good.
Well, that's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
How about you, Dirk?
Yeah, I was at my mum's for a couple weeks over the kind of Christmas period. We had that side of the family over, 7 of us for Christmas dinner, which was, a fair few hours cooking because we had a very large bird and some lamb and some other stuff going on. So I was busy on Christmas Day, but it was good busy. And then, yeah, now that I'm back at home, I've just taken a week off work because I wanted some time to myself. So, yeah,
Nice.
it's been a good holiday period.
Nice.
It's been chill. Like I say, take some time to relax.
Dawn, do you want to consider you told us, or you got more?
For the holiday?
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing that happened recently. I got nothing much else. I mean, you guys, we had a show like right before Christmas with my friend passing, but other than that, nothing else has happened. So I had a good New Year. Just spent time playing games, drinking, good times.
Cool. Yeah, we started Christmas with my mom in the emergency room because my parents are in their late 70s, right? And my mom walked from the kitchen into the dining room and boom, right on her face. She just fell down. She tripped over. She goes from hardwood to carpet, right? She just caught her toe, went straight down. And she's all fine. No problems. Skinned her fingers up. Eric was the triage nurse there working on her fingers, and the nurse at the ER said I did an excellent job. They didn't even have to redo them. So I did good to my mom.
So what did they charge you for that? I'm sure.
I have no idea.
Like you're like, wait a minute, why are you taking credit for all my fucking hard work, huh?
No, I was just happy that I did it well before she went, right? So yeah, but she wasn't there long. They had very short lines. She was only there for about 4 hours, maybe 3, 2.5, maybe. But they got her in there real quick. They just needed somebody to make sure, because she's on blood thinners, because she's older, right? So we wanted to make sure nothing up top was ruptured that we couldn't see. So yeah, that was how we started it, and we ended it on the 31st with an afternoon show watching Jeff Dunham. And if you haven't seen him or don't know who he is, look him up on YouTube. He's got all kinds of Netflix specials and everything. He's just simply hilarious, and he's a ventriloquist. So and it's just funny, super funny. So we had a good time. The whole family went, and it was a blast. So that's what we did. But and then of course, it's our busy season at the company, so it was super busy. So I'm just kind of yesterday I kind of took it easy, and after the show today, I'll probably take it easy too, and that'll be kind of my 2 days. But yeah, and we got guinea pigs. So for those who don't know, that's what we were talking about. Guinea pigs. They're all eating right now. I may stick them in the corner real time. You might see the page move around, but they look like they're having fun. Somebody didn't turn the Christmas tree. When we turn our one Christmas tree on, it blinks colored white. Somebody has not made them all go white, so they're flashing. That's kind of cool. We love them. They're cool. They're very very calming, very interesting to just watch them.
All right, so since I'm only here for another 30 minutes,
time's up.
And the chat is getting restless.
By the way, thank you for the subs, Zenobi, right? First time subscriber. Redline subscribed for 25 months, and we had a bunch of folks follow. So thank you very much for that. All right, go ahead, lead us off, Don.
No, it's Dirk. Dirk's the one with all the anger, or
I'm currently trying to decide whether or not whether or not I'm disappointed or whether I'm just completely surprised. But I mean, Dawn, do you want to talk about the producer's letter and the actual content in there before I get on to my point?
I only watched about 20 minutes and then I got bored.
Well, we're talking about the producer letter.
I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. So I highlighted a bunch of things from it.
I read that part.
So we don't have to read through the whole thing, but like there were a bunch of basic, essentially a bunch of things, right? Certain things like that it's a case of is it really this? Is it really not this kind of thing? But like the letter kind of started off basically praising, the sort of like the activity increase that has occurred, right?
It's hard not to praise an activity increase that's gone from the worst activity ever seen in EVE Online to better than the worst activity ever seen in EVE Online.
We're passable.
True.
Yes, the letter opening up with unexpectedly, the game still lives. I mean,
but like it's particularly notable. Yeah, so
I'm not. No.
So CCP said particularly notable has been the sharp 75% increase in PvP kills in low sec, as well as
am happy
an 11% as well as an 11% PvP kill increase in high sec.
Very good to see. It's actually working.
It's good.
I just want to respond to Fat Bob Records there, saying we were using EVE online related stuff as clickbait. If we were using something as clickbait, it wouldn't be EVE. I'm just saying.
No, Eric would have stayed on his golfer subject. Trust me.
By the way,
definitely would've.
can we X up in chat if anybody's actually gone to her Twitter account there? Okay, but, go on.
I mean, I think if they have, they're not going to be listening to us or watching us. Like,
we talked about
if
guinea
anything.
pigs too. We're into the Eve part, Fat Bob. So let's go Eve.
Yep.
So yeah, like the low sex stuff, the PvP kill increase numbers, all very good, right?
Yeah.
I did think it was a bit disingenuous to talk about the increase in Navy ship production after they just introduced like 12 new Navy ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be an increase.
Did
look at
they say
these
something specifically about like the capital ships?
Yeah, they're like, look, capitals went up 34%. Huh? And we're all like, yes, because you made Navy capitals. Why wouldn't they go up?
That, but also I'm impressed that they went up at all, given that we don't really have any reason to use them.
I mean, is there a reason to use them? Is there a lot of utility in them? I haven't checked. I haven't looked. Like this,
they are very good for suicide tanking.
Are they very tanky?
They're not very tanky per se, but they've got a lot of mid-slot functionality. They are tanky. Don't get me wrong here, but
I mean that's just dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts have been used for that for decades, but like
I
by
think
and large, especially in Delve at the minute, they're just being used for like crab beacons and ratting coverage, right?
Yeah,
like nobody's having brawls of the old age.
Because I think the question that some people probably have, including me to some degree, for the people who still play Eve significantly, or at least somewhat significantly, or mine/manufacture ships, right? Has the sort of bottleneck in ship production been alleviated to some degree, or is it just because is it just not really the bottleneck, but just like the sort of like the availability of materials have been slightly increased?
I think
is that it?
If I were to kind of speculate on that, I would say that probably the recent changes to moons, where they added ores back to moons, having taken them out however long ago.
What are you talking about? What did they add back to a moon? Because there's nothing been added to a moon. Moon's lost stuff.
Have they not actually done that yet? Because they were
No.
talking about adding. They were talking about adding ores back to moons, like
Didn't do it.
real ores.
They have not done that.
Regular,
but if they are going to do that, that would be nice for me.
Excuse me while I go hunting through the news articles to see where I read that now.
Well, chat seems to think that they haven't. So that's that. I'm just kind of wondering. I'm wondering.
Well, the person who runs our mass moon mining group just said they didn't.
There we go.
Exactly.
Then fair enough.
Fuck if I know anything, right?
This is where I'm trying to find where I read it, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I mean, I will take the authority.
New ores to the game.
I'll take Dawn Rare's authority on the subject, as gospel in that regard. So
they
haven't
new ores.
Yes, and they are a complete and utter failure.
Okay.
Use at 11.
What is that then?
Basically, they've been ignored. Is what it sounds like.
They're not ignored. It's just it's so convoluted. No one can fucking figure out how they fucking work. They made these new sites that have no feasible respawn mechanic to understand. It's just whenever the game fucking feels like it. And they made an ore that is so worthless.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at the ore.celeste, the site that shows you like what the market price is for any ore at any given time. To give you an example, let's go with Spod. Spod's about 750 to 800 ISK per M3. They made an ore that is 80 ISK per M3. It is the lowest ore possible to mine. It's worse than cobaltite. It's worse than scheelite. It's worse than amber and plagioclase and all the shitty ores from HiSec. Like, it is so worthless. People leave these giant mounds of rocks in the sites, preventing them from doing any sort of possible respawning of whatever fucking mechanic it is. Because we can't figure out days, times, downtime, whatever the fuck it wants to do. They just hop around. And it's so stupid. I'm like, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna really help solve some of this bottleneck. No, you're not. There ain't no fucking ore spawning. No one's doing like. I went to go find a site. It took me like I had to fly through Quirius to find a fucking site. When I found it, it was already mined out, and I was like, well, all right, I won't worry about these ever again. CCP was making something that I was going to be interested in, and then I just instantly lost all interest. Too fucking hard.
So yes. So this begs the question of why the fuck is the sort of capital industry sort of increasing in that regard? Like, if it's just from people kind of going, well, I haven't got these, I haven't tried these particular Navy dreads out. Let's build one and see what it's like. If that's kind of like, if actually that could be it, because, a 37% of not much is still not much, right? Or whatever it was. 34% bump of not much is still not much, right? So if capital manufacturing was like practically non-existent, and it's interesting that it's a 34% bump, not a, 27 or 14 or 8.5 or something like that. Like that is like essentially there was like,
they were making three, now they're making four.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were 3, but now they're making 4 because that's a 33.3 or let's round that up to the next highest number, which is 34. Like,
I mean, they can't
essentially
a decimal point, having just talked about 14,000% increase in Navy ship production. Otherwise, we'd mock them even harder.
Yeah, 14,000%. And then there's a 34% bump in capital stuff. Like, I can see the reasoning why the Navy ship production is rising, because, like, it's easy to build those ships if you have the LP to get the stuff, and then the material after that is easy.
No, Mac, you didn't get it. They're doing it by ISK value, and somebody built one Navy capital.
I believe it.
Given that the MER is still fucked after however many years of them asking, how can we unfuck the MER?
I mean, no, it's getting better. They're getting there, slowly but surely.
Are they really?
Yeah, I mean, the MER has been...
The MER is actually getting
better
more useful and a lot more...
It's showing you real things you care about.
No, like, it's worth starting to look at again, Dark.
It's not they're not just putting in mining value or ratting value. They're actually breaking it down so you can see, instead of mining value, they do mining volume, which is actually a better number to work with because prices adjust constantly, but you can always keep it relative with the volume.
The CCP always used fucked up prices for mining anyway, so we can never actually assess anything from it. So if the fact that they've switched to volume and are actually presenting useful information. Okay, good move, CCP. Really good move.
I mean, I can't guarantee it's necessarily useful, but it's better for my eyeballs. I understand it better. A big number better.
Yeah.
So it works out for me. What else?
News of the day. Big number is better number.
Yeah. So they had a whole stream yesterday, which was an hour and a half long. I got bored about 20 minutes in because they were kind of rambling and I was dealing with my cat. But they apparently had a section in Poshfin, which I guess was really short, but it was basically saying, yes, Poshfin's great. And I'm like, have you seen what happened? Like, after the OF changes, it is dead. There is nobody in there at all. It's dead, Jim.
I'm sorry, I still have this instinctive reaction whenever somebody utters the word Pochvan, and I just recoil.
No, I know. Like... I used to. I mean, no, Poshvin's terrible. Don't go in there ever, guys. But I haven't been making a bunch of money in there. But yeah, changing OFs has effectively killed it to where. So they were complaining that it was a problem that 50 people were making like a couple trillion a month, right? Whatever it was for the region. Well, take that number, and instead of 50 people, it's now 5. The only people who can run sites in there are the 4 or 5 multi-boxers who have 15 to 20 accounts. And the reason why is because if you want to get an OF, you need to be ready to go like that. You have to be able to log in and undock and go. A regular group or fleet, or like a group of people or a fleet of more than like one person, can't undock in 5 minutes.
Oh, so they did
That's the amount of time you have to get there.
So they did to Parkman what they did to like ganking with the bumping changes. Basically made it like impossible to do with multiple people.
Basically, where like you need to be able to organize and coordinate with people, and the problem is by the time you get, even if you like write down, oh hey, we're gonna have an OF spawn in 10 minutes, you could pre-ping. It doesn't matter. You still got time to get together, and then you got to fly over there. And some groups like to use battleships, and there's a 25% warp speed reduction in Poshman. So trying to fly battleships around quickly is not possible. And so most people who are the multi-boxers just use Ishtars because the OFs don't target drones. They bring 1 Logi, maybe 2, and the rest are Ishtars. And they just take like 15 to 20 minutes to kill the site. And it's 1 person who does it all. Now, snaps for them, like, I'm glad you figured it out. But like there's literally 3 people who do OFs in Poshfin. And all the rest of the sites in the entire space are worthless, provide no fucking money, no good salvage. There is nothing else to do out there. They have effectively killed a region that was the 2nd highest destruction in the game. So what if they were making a bunch of money? They were also killing a bunch of shit too. So now they've really just like cut its legs out. There is nothing to do there. Other than watch like pathetic little Vargers try to kill mining fleets because he's got a tiny penis. So I mean, what?
I'm looking at stats for Pochman at the moment, and it's just like December was a low month for sure.
Did the MER come out?
No, I'm looking for Ezekiel region stats.
Oh yeah.
I am truly shocked at this revelation Dawn has given us.
I know. Well,
I had no idea Andrew Tate played Eve, much less used a Vargar.
Oh good lord.
No.
No, there's
why? Why?
There's this guy who has a hard on for me. Not a big one, because I killed his tornado. He flew in to try and shoot my ships, and so I tackled him with my saber. And my friend, who was cloaked up in a tornado, decloaks, and we kill his tornado. So then he decides to come back in a Vargar for a week, every night, for 1 or 2 hours a night, just logging in and out, trying to catch us and killing some of our small tackle. But he's in a Vargar, and so we can't just have like a malediction grab him, because he just one-shots everything. So you have to get really heavy tanky stuff. And
Don's not tilted at all here. Anybody
he did up the ante though. Like he did up the ante from a NATO to a Vargar. Like you at least have to appreciate that and take and bring
was
in.
So shit fit. It was only worth 1.2 billion.
That's why you have a heavy tackle ship to bait him out. You have a co-ops cloak nearby, ready to fucking uncloak, put a co-ops cloak up, and then just bring in fucking 60 bombers and torp the cunt to death.
How am I going to do that in Poshman? There's no silos.
Let's just appreciate that Dawn is not pissed at this guy fucking with her. She's pissed at this guy fucking with her with a shit fit that isn't worth enough for her.
Oh my god, and it's so annoying.
You want to get Dawn engaged, you gotta spend some money, man.
The problem
my god, this guy thinks I'm a fucking cheap date! God damn it!
Yeah, and it was so annoying, just trying to deal with this bullshit. And he was just being a dick. He literally named his Vargar as a locust defense force, trying to keep me from mining. So eventually the Strybot guys were able to catch him and kill him with their paladins, which was really nice. And then I looked, and he lost to Varger the next day and the day after in frat space. So I was like, oh, good, he's finally possibly out of money. So he should not show up for a little while.
Dawn is absolutely pissed about this guy being just a cheapskate. That's what this is, isn't it?
Not even just that. It's just like,
Yeah, but I mean,
fuck, like,
is he really being a cheapskate though?
oh, and then he had the audacity to
is he just being practical? If he's gonna lose Vargers that frequently, maybe he shouldn't fit them expensively.
That's very
He
true.
should be flying bargains if he's losing them that frequently.
Well, and so like, the annoying part is like, so we tried to catch him like the whole week. We tried to catch him. We tried to catch him the whole week, and he would like MGD and stuff as Vargers do. But then you talking local like, oh, why are you bringing 4 or 5 ships for my little solo PvPer? I'm like, you fuck, Matt, you're trying to kill a bunch of mining barges. Suck my dick. Like, don't act like you're a big hot shot when you're literally shooting ships that can barely fight back and not against you.
Dawn's only been ranting for like 5 minutes, but now we made it to the annoying part.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways, so I just wanted to bitch about how CCP just effectively made Poshven only profitable for 5 people now. Before I assumed that it was only 5 people there. Now it truly is. I've seen it with my eyeballs. They're like 4 or 5
She
people
has names.
I do. Dora. Who's actually pretty cool. He's relatively nice. There's Dora, there's Ninja Baby, Strybog, and then sometimes Kyber.
You didn't have to ask for the names, Horrendous. Jesus.
Well, now they're out in the open.
There you go. There's your names. Get on your.
There you go. Dawn has effectively doxed them.
Seriously.
Get on with those. They're not search agents. Locator agents. There you go.
There we go.
I mean, it's not hard to find Ninja Baby or Dora the miner. They are very easy to find. Also, it's a 27 system triangle. You have a very limited space to have to look. So
yeah, like scouting 27 systems isn't exactly difficult or like costly in time.
Yeah.
So all right then.
What else was in there?
What's next with
there was more stuff in the producer letter and in the video thing. Like they talked about direct enlistment, which is cool, something that like should have been in the game for a long period of time, because like
that's actually going to be really cool.
That should be really cool. It allows basically people to be involved in and directly list into the faction militias without actually like leaving their sort of corporation and alliances and stuff. So
I as a Karma Fleet member will now be able to go and help the Minmatar fight against the Amar's oppression, right?
Well, you say now, but like, when is it actually going in?
Well, this is a very good question, but it's coming. It's actually going to happen
soon.
Coming
TM.
Soon TM, yeah.
Lovely.
But like there's also, so there's that the direct enlistment's coming in. There's the new currency coming in called Evermarks. That will also include new agents, new stations, and missions, and stuff like that. Those will be the thing that unlocks stuff like Alliance emblems and that sort of thing. Like, why you have to have that tied away from tied behind or locked away behind a sort of like a not a paywall as such, but like an in-game kind of like action, like activity paywall sort of thing. Like, I'm not entirely certain. Maybe they just want to, they feel like they want to drive people into playing and being in space for reasons, right? And this was the greatest bit, right? This was the greatest bit about the whole the Evermark's new currency, right, is as we move forward, and this is obviously this is from the developer letter or the producer letter. I think it's the producer's letter, right?
Sure.
It's,
Why not?
Yeah, that one. Why
it's
not?
called
Exactly.
The
Why not?
producer's letter, yeah.
Yeah. So this is from this is verbatim from CCP. As we move forward, we will add more ways for you to earn Evermarks through your in-game actions. The most recent example of this being the daily login rewards from the Winter Nexus event. So basically, if you want those cool if you want those cool sort of like things that could easily have just been given to people in ways and means of being, part of certain groups, you have to
You want the
actually
fat bee
be
on your
part
ship.
of their stats to show that the game is functioning, that the game is
Yeah.
performing well.
Like, if you want the
Essentially.
fat bee on your ship, you're gonna have to
You're gonna have
become a number.
Yeah, you're gonna have to become a number or that CCP can use, when to in investment calls, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty
Wow.
much the. Well, I mean, it's a very fair point.
I mean, that's what they said, right? Like, they're using what is it, daily logins to get the specific statistics that they use, right?
They've been trying to
The
they've been
DAUs
trying to use,
and MAUs and stuff like
yeah.
that, right?
They've been trying to get their daily active user count to be the metric to go from, rather than the concurrent users for
Well, yeah.
like years now.
Like
And
a
it
decade.
hasn't really worked.
No, it hasn't.
Ever, because the only thing that we
It's
can see regularly is the concurrent user count.
Right.
they've yet to realize that it's a paper tiger. Like it is a false statistic that will guide you down a path where the activity that you think is there is not there, because a person logging in to collect rewards and then logging off doesn't really affect or doesn't really contribute like meaningful gameplay to the to the environment. Like, and so DAUs are a bullshit stat, like they really are.
Yeah, but remember, they don't care they don't care about what stat we're looking at. They care about what stat their investors are looking at. The DAU being a useless stat isn't something that anyone is going to explain to freaking JP Morgan Chase.
This is actually there was a bit in the video, like their video actually, like their stream, that proved this quite a lot. I did clip it. When the was it? It was because they've got this whole Microsoft Excel thing going, right?
Right.
And we've had like on and off iterations on what is the ESI, right? It used to be the API, then it went to Crest, and then it went to ESI endpoints and stuff like that, right? Like,
Yeah,
but it's had all sorts of people like trying to sort of help out and kind of bring it to an area that is actually fairly decent. One developer that I recall working on it quite significantly was CCP for SOX 4. I think.
TCP Bartender also did a hell of a lot of work with ESI stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Way back in 2018, 2019. I think I interviewed him in Amsterdam 2019 about like ESI stuff and all the rest of it. It was really interesting to hear them talk about it. But that's just kind of gone down the fucking drain.
Yeah, Rotati basically said that they hadn't actually had anybody, leading it or a strong leader to lead it in its iteration in any way, shape, or form, like for like the last decade, which I thought was a bit rich, a bit much, like a bit of a slap in the face for some people, I think. But
it's hilarious. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Eve Partner program and the Eve Partner Discord, because there's a bunch of third-party developers on there who let me tell you,
quickly
can tell that they haven't been working on it for the last few years.
Well, yeah, but like just quickly, like the thing that I thought was quite interesting regarding the Excel thing and the tie-in to sort of like, what CCP actually considers to be decent stats or what CCP considers to be important things anyway to their development is that Ratati basically admitted that the only reason why they're looking at like iterating and sorting out the API is because they have Microsoft Excel's tie-in there, and clearly they're getting some kind of kickback from Excel in some way, shape, or form to basically allow them to feel like it's at least in some way beneficial for them to do this. Or at least there might be some incentive there. Like, the more people who use this Excel tie-in, the more kickback they get, right? So there's more reason for them to, to redevelop the ESI in order to actually have people use it.
Hang on a second.
Right? Like, that's how I see it, at least.
Hold up.
Go for it.
Microsoft is paying CCP.
I don't know. Like this,
No.
I'm inferring this shit.
No,
I'm inferring this shit, Horrendous. Like, I don't know.
To use the Excel tie-in, CCP has to pay Microsoft licensing.
Well, why are they taking such an interest now in the ESI?
Clearly, because this is something that somebody there got the bug up their ass to say, well, if we do it through Excel, then it becomes so much easier for us. And now they're trying. And now they're trying.
Literally that way a decade ago.
Yes,
dude.
But now, so what? That doesn't mean Ratati knows that.
He literally said it. Like he may be lying. He may be telling a half truth in what he said. But he literally said that this is the excuse that they have for looking at the API.
Like, if they're already paying for it, then they're gonna want to get as much use out of the money they're spending, which means making all of us use the same shit they have to use.
This is one of those
that might
things
be it.
where they decided to pay Microsoft instead of Google.
Yeah, but there is no way they're getting a kickback.
But that's the thing. It's like I remember
get kickback on it. They'll just be paying for that kickback.
Yeah, it's like if they're getting a kickback, it's like, oh, you can get 2% back on your gas. Yeah, I still got to pay a ridiculous amount for gas.
It might just be that. It might just be like, yeah, we'll give you 10% off on your Microsoft 365 Office suite, kind of like licensing.
Right, but I mean that's
for your Office, like that might be it.
That's all it would be.
The thing that kind of got me about that clip, though, yeah, and I know which clip you're talking about, and I'm actually gonna link this to chat. Like, here's the clip link, chat.
Yeah.
And the thing that really got me and the thing that really annoyed me about this clip is that Berger talks about how people, in this example, third-party developers, are using ESI to spy on people. Like, you don't sign up when you add an ESI token to shit. Like, you can't... Yeah. Nobody's hacking your ESI tokens or anything. You're not being spied on. You signed up to provide XYZ data, and you just need to kind of get on board with that or revoke the tokens, man. Like,
I think the thing is a lot of people don't understand how to revoke it.
That shit works.
I think a lot of people, it's not that the people don't understand how to revoke it, although they don't understand how to revoke it. I think the issue is people have no idea what the hell they're signing up for because they never pay attention to, I signed up for what?
Well, let's ask Dirk right now. Like, how do you revoke ESI tokens? Like, where do you go to?
You go to the EVE Online site. You log in with I think it redirects you to secure to EVE Online. There's a page for your ESI tokens where you can go through every single ESI token that you provisioned.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this right now, by the way.
You should.
Yes, because I need to see this because I'm fairly certain like most people don't know where these tokens and where they can. rescind these
Again,
from?
most
Like,
people don't pay attention to what the fuck they sign up for.
I'd have to go to. I'd have to remember my password for EVE Online to log in through anything not the launcher. But like,
yeah.
There's a whole
Okay.
page on secure.eve online somewhere.
Okay, so you get to EVE Online, and there is no. There's a support page. There's like support, which opens a new thing.
It should be part of manage your account or something. I think.
But there's also like
I
the right hand side where you have your like account management, which is probably where you're thinking, right?
Yeah,
So it'll be under
exists
account
somewhere in account
management.
management.
So you go to account
where
management,
is
and there
the-
is a bunch of things.
There was a
Edit
tutorial
account
on
information,
Google
add a
about
mega
it
time, view
somewhere.
transparent transaction history, view account activity might be the. That might be view account activity.
That might be it. Yeah. You know what? Let me go find my password.
That's
and
not it.
I'll locate.
Oh, there
this
we go.
for you.
Revoke access tokens on all devices. But that might be that. I think that's just access tokens. That's not like ESI tokens as such. So that's not that, because access tokens, I think, are like, you know, your tokens for you to log in via your SSO. So it's not there.
It's...
Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Like, most people don't. I don't.
I'm now going through my 2FA to to find this for you.
But do you see what I mean? Like, most people don't know where this is. Like, even I don't know where this is.
Well,
I thought
here's
Dirk
the
did,
thing.
but like, we're here doing
You
it
make-
live,
You make a very fair point that
right?
it's not exactly advertised, but
No.
regardless, there seems to be this perception from CCP. It's not Burger; it's the other one, Ratatouille.
But,
All these food
Yes.
names.
Rat-a-tat.
Thinks that
Yeah, it's not the food
spy
section
on
of the
you and
show
you're
yet.
not-
You can't
like,
do that.
it's that bit where like apparently
I mean, they can
signing
spy.
up
They
for
can
a
spy
thing
on you if
allows
you've
people
given.
to spy on you.
They can spy on you if you've given them access to spy on you and you haven't revoked the token at some point. Like,
Oh,
that's
wait,
the
I gotta
thing. It's
go.
like,
Have a good
We'll
day.
see.
Have fun.
Hopefully the kitty's okay.
He's
take care,
doing
Dawn.
okay so far. Bye.
Bye-bye. The let's put it this way.
Like,
We
It's
really
just
should
this-
work on that.
We're now on anger mode, I think.
We should work on the terminology. Number one, it is not giving access to somebody to spy on you, right? You've given access for whatever
For them
reason
to look at it.
to validate that you're not the bad guy. That's the whole
exactly.
point of somebody
It's like-
looking at your ESI, right? Making sure you're not the spy. It's giving them
Let's-
access, right?
But let's be clear, okay? You're giving them access to do whatever the hell they want with the access you've given. You're just trusting them to only do certain things.
So I wonder whether, like, I wonder whether the particular phrase was meant for like the secure kind of, you know, requiring an authentication or requiring access sort of tokens in terms of the ESI endpoints,
phrase?
or whether they were talking more along the lines of the publicly available API
Which
endpoints.
phrase are you talking about, though?
The one
the
that I
spying
think Berger
on
was
you
using,
phrase?
the spying on you thing, yeah. Like,
Okay, because
they reference like, oh, you know, that they were able to track people in terms of like where they were by, you know, the kills that they were on and stuff like that.
Okay,
It's
so-
like
but
that's publicly accessible,
right. That's publicly accessible, and what they're talking
That's
about
the link.
there, what they seem to be talking about there is free intel through Zkill.
There's your link to
There we go.
revoke your various ESI tokens.
For
your
community.
I don't know why it's in community.eve online, but there it is. Apparently, community.eve online is good for something.
Because community.eve online is where interactions are governed.
Oh God.
Which means, folks, let's keep in mind, all of your ESI shit is going through CCP Swift.
Oh.
By the way, on
My
the main
God.
on the main launch page kind of thing, when you mouse over community, you only get forums, FanFest, EVE on Twitch, partnership program, volunteer system, and Discord.
I am going to go ahead and say as well, right, that the
Awkward.
suggestion that kill mail is going to like Zkillboard or whatever is an issue with ESI is not, because
No,
your
it's
kill
not,
mails can go to ESI regardless of whether or not you have your ESI token on Zkill, because you're not the only party involved in that information.
Exactly. The killer also
obviously,
gets a kill mail.
But
hence the name.
Remember that's the sort of thing that people have been complaining about for years as free intel.
I think it's too much free intel as well, Arendus.
I mean,
personally.
Hey, the local channel is apparently too much free intel, so you know.
Well, people thought the local intel was too much intel, and they decided to it seems as though somebody at CCP caught on to that particular rhetoric and decided that no local should be an experiment that we should try out. And that worked out
how well did that go?
That didn't go well.
We tried that, and that was the lowest activity point in EVE's history until the most recent lowest activity point in EVE's history.
Look, CCP tried
to fix extremes is not a good idea.
Dirk, the way you need to look at it is CCP tried to fix something, and we got the lowest activity level until the next time CCP tried to fix something.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Fortunately, CCP has now fixed CCP trying to fix something.
I'm glad everyone out there is enjoying our EVE conversation specifically because they were requesting it. Clearly.
All right. So now that we've had a bit of a rant about ESI and CCP not maintaining their own fucking API, what else have we got going here?
Oh, there was a bunch, so API. I mean, we jumped around a little bit there, but direct enlistment, alliance endments, epoch marks.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the passive income thing is kind of interesting to look at and think about. They're talking about providing passive income in LowSec.
Oh yeah, they were looking at passive incomes, right? They were changing the name. They were deciding that they didn't want to call it passive income. It's going to be called contested income now for some stupid fucking reason.
Well, how is it contested if it's passive? How is it supposed to work?
You can only get it in LowSec in the frontline systems once.
Right, but how does it work?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was hoping to jump in here and talk to you guys about how it feels so far in game. I haven't played it, but apparently the frontline system has it. Does it?
I don't know if this has been introduced yet, or if it's still a work in progress. But
right,
from reading the producer's letter, because I haven't
maybe
the LowSec thing.
It doesn't have it.
Basically, gonna provide.
It doesn't have it, but it's ideal candidates.
Directly profit as a corporation from contesting systems in LowSec.
Okay,
so it doesn't.
But that doesn't sound like passive income. That sounds like you can actually make money attacking systems.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So they say that. Too. So clearly they don't want to bring back passive income in the way that it was previously, which is probably one of the reasons why they want to change the name.
I don't get how that's passive income at all. Is my point.
It's very much active income.
Okay, so then why are we talking about it as passive income?
Because
I don't know, because they've said it. They said this is what they said verbatim, right? Yeah. So on funding, we have prioritized contested income (brackets formerly known as passive income), a source valuable enough to take, hold, and defend. I mean, this is kind of some of the stuff that I just pulled out. But they said, the frontline system has shown that we can create high conflict zones, which are ideal candidates for these contested income sources since they create areas of vulnerability. We much prefer these high value sites in areas of substantial risk rather than having highly defensible systems.
It's that bit where you're adding some form of corporation or alliance level income potentially, which is what we refer to as passive income, right? We're not talking about things on a player level so much as we're talking about things on a corporation and alliance level when we talk about passive income of the past.
You know how I think they're going to do it, and I really hope that they don't do it this way.
Somehow.
You know how I think they're going to do it, but I hope they don't do it this way. But it just looks like it because it'll be the easy route for them to do, right? Because we've already got like we've got the banks and stuff that you can go in and pull money out of, right?
The ESS stuff, yeah.
The ESS stuff,
Yeah,
right? I can see it as being an ESS in these systems of sorts, and you can literally, if you own it, it accrues, and you can go and pull it out and then run it, like kind of like back, and then like basically sell it off to like NPS and NP like a.
But how would
like,
you own it in LowSec?
Like by basically being it sort of like a capture the flag thing, like you
I mean, you'd have to be
fly around it and
right,
and
but then you'd be splitting it off with the rest of the militia for that faction. I mean,
yeah, but that would be a faction, right? So
it's a weird thing, but I mean, it is preceded in the letter with this phrase: an issue many leaders face is the funding of their organizations.
there's also
corporation alliance leaders of all sizes and area of space need to lean on taxes. This is simply not sufficient for the myriad of different activities that groups rely on for income, which is why I was talking about this alliance and corporation level income. Because they kind of suggest that, hey, just taxing the income that your players, your members create or have is not sufficient. Good. They've recognized that. Like previously, a lot of funding came from things like Moon Goo that was controlled on an alliance and corporation level, and that isn't possible anymore. So it's good to see that they do realize that running larger organizations costs money, and it's tricky sometimes to fund everything. But the idea that they're gonna do this through low-sec front lines and call it something equivalent to passive income is like, sorry, what?
I mean,
where did you get this idea?
So that's my assumption, and that's my prediction is they're going to basically put an ESI like system into low sec faction warfare, where you basically have to capture this contested ESI beacon thing that essentially will, start like it'll basically it's in a constant state of like, dumping money into like a essentially a draw, right? That you when you get there, you pull out and then you run it to a safe place where you can actually just where you can sell it off to to sell orders, right? Like in non-player sell orders, right? That's how I see that working. How they want to, like, whether that's going to be what the system is going to be and how they're going to take that system and sort of apply it to nullsec, I haven't fucking clue. But like, that's how I see the system coming to, like, that's how I see a system like ticking off all of those sort of check marks that they're kind of like wanting to do in the most like, we can't be asked to do things, let's tweak stuff that we already have way. If you have other ideas on that one, welcome to hear it, like, honest to God. Or if you think that's fucking terrible, I think that's fucking terrible, but like,
at this point I'm just left wondering, has anybody asked Brisk, so do you know if CCP is doing something stupid on this one yet or not?
I assume somebody's asked him. I haven't done it personally.
He's probably like, we're thinking that they are, but they haven't said anything to us, so we can't just we can't go.
Question.
The thing that you think that you're doing good is bad, even though you haven't told us that you're doing it. We're just making sure you know.
We just assume that you're going to fuck this up. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good state to be in for CCP generally. Like
generally.
Just the assumption that they have done something and they're just not willing to talk about it has been borne out a hell of a lot over the last
the thing
3
is,
or 4 years.
and the thing is, and understandably, you know, Pineapple Harley in chat, like, you know, he may know and he can't tell us because of NDA, but like they have said specifically that, you know, CCP don't tell them things sometimes, and then they just come out with like, this is a new thing that we're going to be releasing, and they've been literally sidelined out of the process, and they're literally screaming in back channels going, what the actual fuck, CCP, why haven't you come to us earlier about this? We could have prevented this, you know, this fucking horror show from happening in public.
The last few years has definitely been one of those bits where CCP don't want to talk to the CSM because the CSM will tell them it's a shit idea, and they know it's a shit idea, but they want to do it anyway because that's just how CCP goes sometimes. And
they sometimes have this idea of like
you just get ignored, or they specifically don't tell you so they can't hear the criticism.
It's a Ratati special to basically say that like, oh, if we only tell them half of the thing, then they're going to think it's shit. But if we tell them that, we can't tell them the whole thing because then it gives the game away. So we're going to have to like just, you know, not tell them the thing that they think is going to be shit, and we're going to carry on going with the whole thing. And then when the whole thing turns out to be an absolute fucking dumpster fire, you know, we'll just say that you know, you guys weren't ready for it, clearly.
And also, NDAs are a little bit tricky, but also not that tricky. You can, if you're asked, you know, have you had a conversation with CCP about XYZ thing? They can say, yes, I've had a conversation with them about it. You won't necessarily get, this is what the conversation included, these are the details, but telling somebody that you had a conversation about a thing is not covered under NDAs by and large, and generally not covered under CSM NDAs, which I have read a couple of.
I'm not at liberty to
conversation. Yeah.
I'm not at liberty to discuss this particular topic. You know, it is a classic sign of like, oh, well, this topic has been discussed then, but they can't tell you about it.
Yeah, they can definitely tell you if they haven't had a conversation. Like, have you had a conversation about this topic with CCP? No. That's not covered under NDA. So, like, definitely it's a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
One thing that has kind of caught my eye though, is I've taken a look at your notes here, McLeod.
I did a few.
Is the bit with NetEase and China.
Oh, I thought this was interesting. Yeah, like there was also a video bit about it as well. Like I pulled a little clip about it as well.
I didn't watch the clip, but like the bit where NetEase has been pioneering the frontiers of EVE Online in mainland China and building the future of our two servers, Serenity and Infinity.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Like when did China get a second server? I'm kind of curious as to what Infinity is. Because I can't find, as I'm Googling around, I can't find any reference to the Infinity server anywhere, including on eveoffline.com, which tracks the uptime status of just generally the servers, right? So it has Tranquility, it has Serenity, it checks whether or not Singularity is up, that whole thing. There's no reference to Infinity.
Yeah, I saw Infinity and I was like, wait, what's that? Like, you know when you're sort of like speed reading something and something just stands out to you suddenly? You're like, Infinity, what? And then I was like, what? Hang on, 2?
Yeah,
that was a moment. That was definitely a moment. Sorry, I thought when you were talking about China or Chinese kind of stuff like that, I thought you meant something different. There is a clip in from the stream talking about Burger and Rotate basically talking about how they've given Chinese players a pass to use Python injection.
What?
Did you miss that one?
I had completely missed that one.
Yeah, so basically, apparently Chinese players have been using Python injection to be able to, as they put it, unlock the Chinese localization for the client. And they've been kind of apparently giving Chinese players a pass on Python injection because of this.
As it turns out, the terms of service mean nothing in China, and just do whatever the fuck you want. Basically.
But this also apparently this also means like Chinese players in other countries, like say Chinese players who are, studying abroad in say Western countries and stuff like that.
Well, no, see that depends. Are they allowing it on those specific servers, or are they allowing it for those specific players?
I think I don't know. They didn't really go into it as such. Like they just said that, like, for the Chinese players, like they were basically, one of the ways that they were being able to sort of, just be able to play the game is to be able to, use Python injection in order to unlock the Chinese, localization, whatever the fuck that means. Like, whether that means unlock the text in the client to be able to be translated by some translation program that they have running as well, fair enough. Whether they can track that and see whether that's only what's happening with regards to the Python injection, I don't know. But apparently they've been giving people who are claiming to be Chinese nationals a pass for Python injection into the main Eve. I believe they haven't. They didn't actually say that specifically. But I believe it's for the main tranquility server.
That's
I'm not sure,
considering it's a pretty blatant terms of service
if we can get a confirm or deny from somebody more officially, that would be fantastic. But like, I think that may require a tweet to, like, specifically to people, not just like a conversation here in chat in the show sort of thing. But it'd be good to actually get some clarification there, because there was quite the sort of little like atom bomb to drop in the sort of in the stream.
It's definitely interesting. Like, because any sort of Python injection counts as client modification, and client modification is
against terms of service for sure. Like,
it's just a rampant violation.
It's
run right over it. Why don't you?
Normally, it's just you've done this. This is a ways and a means to be able to cheat in game. You are banned from the game, like, wholesale.
But hey,
that's normally That's normally the sort of like the process is.
Wow.
You are caught, using Python injection, you are now banned from the game. But apparently, you were caught using Python injection. Oh, you're a Chinese national. Okay, that's fine. Apparently,
just insane.
Just normal. Just Eve things.
I'd love to have a confirm or deny from CCP on that front, because that's
yeah.
And
if anybody out there is feeling particularly sort of militant as such, and wants to sort of help out in that regard, that's the link to the clip. If you guys want to sort of either share it around, play it back,
and we're going with that one.
That's not where I was going with it, but like, I thought it was kind of an interesting sort of side of things. Like,
when you said particularly militant, I was thinking that you were about to ask people if they had any accounts that they didn't mind getting banned.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's don't do that. Particularly militant spelled out to me.
No, militant being, sort of, I wouldn't if you want to be proactive and actually, ask CCPers on Twitter or whatever about this, then, and you needed some kind of evidence as to why you might be a little bit concerned, you can use that particular clip from Twitch.
Go forth and tweet.
Yeah, if you want.
Right. What else have we got before I get onto a very old soapbox?
Veritable
from this
soapbox.
From this producer's letter, what else have we got before I get on the soapbox?
Right. Okay, so, there's some cool things. There's actually some cool things, some positive things. Like, should we talk about some positive things after that? Because I kind of feel like we need to. I think we need to yin yang this a little bit, right?
Okay.
Do we?
So what
we can yin yang this, like, so, and this comes from a like CCPY, right? You know, the Proton UI
right.
that we all hate to hate,
Mhm.
or that we love to hate and hate to love, kind of
I
thing.
mean,
Actually, it's bearing
it's
fruit.
really pretty trash.
It's actually bearing fruit. There is some there. They are.
No,
they
it's
are.
not.
Well, in terms of if you like really compact UI, it really is.
Like,
So
It's
they.
still wasting goddamn space all over the fucking place. It is not compact. It is less compact
No,
when you
I
use
get that,
compact
I get
mode.
that. I get that. I get that. But they're making what they're considering. Oh fuck! What is it called? Like compact widgets, or like, you know,
yeah,
they're
but
making like
that
UI
doesn't work.
widgets that are basically like super compact versions of like certain windows and that kind of thing. So if you've this is kind of like a funny thing, but like, you know, when you minimize a window in the client and it goes into that bar, right? It's basically like that, except the bar, instead of just saying like one piece of information, will show a bunch of information. You know, so for example, like they have a version of this where the local kind of, you know, turns into one of these small bars, but it tells you not only just the local count, but it tells you how many of those local counts are, you know, friendly, how many of them are neutral, how many of them are hostile, you know, based on your standings, right? And apparently there's also some other things that you can customize, that it'll also show as well. But like they're doing this for a whole bunch of different things in the UI.
Like,
I see that as a good thing, because it's further compacting, you know, the information into, you know, something that is small, but still gives you a lot of relevant information.
I mean, it's one of those things where like it's been made the default, which is why it has such a high adoption rate. But if you actually spend some time,
there was that, which I thought was fucking ridiculous. Like there was that kind of moment, which was stupid.
The old style overview, I actually still prefer, even though it looks and feels dated. It's got more information in less space, and it tells me exactly what I want when I want it. It's like, yeah, sure, there's some adoption situations where like you have to figure out where the information is in the new Photon UI. Fair enough. But even accounting for that, as Loren just points out, it fucking wastes space all over the shop.
And let me just double check something with you about what you're basically telling us here, Mac. Okay.
It's the thing above the highlights of the producer letter thing in stuff.
The thing that they're now touting, like this local widget, right? This local minimization widget. All right.
It's not just local. There's a bunch of other things. But yeah.
So this local widgetization widget, whatever.
The widgetization widget.
I know I'm all that one. Shut up.
It's a cloud service, okay?
So now they have made a widget that will give you in nice compact form the number of people in local broken down by standings.
Yes.
Making it even easier with less screen real estate to do the thing that was so bad they removed local.
Yes.
Okay. Please do not attempt to apply logic to anything ever again. You're banned on the show. First banning ever. Horrendous. Or anybody else is not allowed to apply logic to any decision CCP makes.
I wasn't applying logic. I was just checking.
You're just putting a little, you floating a balloon, right? Floating a balloon.
You banned us from logic. But how else are we supposed to make fun of CCP?
Illogical.
Yeah.
Illogically, yeah, exactly.
Just accept the
utter nonsense.
Illogicity, new word for the show, of their logic.
Okay. Well, if we're going to utter nonsense, then fuck yeah, I'm going on my soapbox.
No, Dirk, it's not utter nonsense. We just have to ridicule the ridiculous.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Oh, that's some next level shit.
Well, I'm going back to an old topic here. Then, when I get on my soapbox, but it is absolutely ridiculous.
CCP gave Dawn's cat urinary trouble?
No. It's better than that. CCP wrote a producer's letter that was published by the game director.
Is it a director's letter or producer's letter?
Well, I'm sure Manbjorn wrote it.
Are we sure Manbjorn wrote it?
Absolutely.
This is one of those things where you're there.
Absolutely.
We have a producer's letter.
Rattati and Berger have spent years. Rattati and Berger have spent years learning how to use those marionette strings.
Well, Rattati himself in the stream actually said specifically that he has no idea how to code. So he could have literally wrote this, potentially. Because he couldn't code.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like here we have a very extensive letter from the producer, which includes a roadmap.
It does include a roadmap, which is
the producer.
But it is the most high level. It is the most high level roadmap. There is one aspect of it which I think might be considered to be intelligent planning from CCP, which is not to have the fan fest at the start of the year, but actually during summer potentially.
Like it's one of those really weird things where here's a very extensive, very detailed piece of work that includes a fucking mythical roadmap that CCP have been trying to avoid for years, and it comes from the game director.
Yeah. Look, by the way, that roadmap is here.
Let's just appreciate that CCP has so much on the ball that they clearly know the name of the next two expansions, and they're using the same name, expansion.
Expansion. They did mention about how that was kind of fucking not obviously not the name, but like.
We're doing expansions again, guys, because we couldn't get the
well, they haven't done one.
Ever work.
Apparently, they haven't done an expansion or a large enough game update. Update to the game since 2018.
What?
Apparently.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
we were told that last year's FanFest would be the largest release of content ever.
Well, apparently that
Uprising was apparently an expansion. They did say that Uprising was supposed to be an expansion.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like that's what they said. Like this is going to be the that they're going back to doing expansions because they haven't done one since 2018.
The actual verbiage was over the last couple of years we've carried out important foundational work that enabled us to build Uprising, our first expansion since 2018. So the thing they did in November was the first expansion they did since 2018. So they spent 4 years doing important foundational work to release an expansion that isn't finished yet.
Yes.
And they did all of this under an executive producer who hasn't been seen ever.
Well, they've spent 7 years Let's be fair to them. They've spent 7 years trying to figure out how to get upwell structures to parity with pauses, so they can finally remove pauses.
Well, there still isn't at that point yet.
It's still not.
Like they haven't managed to do that too. Yeah, that's a very fair point.
So 4 years for foundational work, that doesn't seem all that unreasonable by comparison, does it?
Comparatively, you are correct there, Horrendous.
Well, actually, it does seem pretty shocking no matter what.
I didn't say it wasn't shocking.
Yeah, but
But at this point, I'm pretty sure anything would be.
But do we shit on any forward momentum because it's not faster forward momentum?
Because CCP isn't winning fast enough, you mean?
Yeah, basically.
Well, no, that's we're not.
So I have to ask the question.
I'm not shitting on forward momentum. I'm asking, is it forward momentum?
Well, I mean, we're
that's a
hoping
good question.
but that is a good question.
That's a perfectly valid question there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like to bring up at this point,
I
only things slated in Q3 in their roadmap are FanFest and the Alliance tournament.
I would say,
for 3 years.
But as I said, Q3 right?
Let's keep in mind that
July,
Q3
August, September.
Right, and
which
we all
means
know
they're
that
doing a fan.
Iceland is empty during summer.
Yeah, it's empty during summer, and also the game is typically on a lull during the summer. So, to me, that means that someone has actually had some critical thinking here and gone,
wait a minute,
hey, if we do a fan fest, then there's going to be less lull in the summer. People might be hyped about stuff, and instead of people freezing their ass off in Iceland in like March, they're actually in Iceland when it's not fucking freezing cold.
I've also just realized about Q3
I hope it's what I just realized.
Timeline.
What's that?
That they're backwards. The Alliance tournament is in August, and FanFest is in September. And
so the AT should be first.
I mean, that's just
okay.
That's just a copy and paste in the wrong place.
But Dirk, here's the one. Here's the one I've realized. All right, if they're doing the AT, okay, fine. But if they're doing FanFest in effectively their summer break period, right, and all the prep for FanFest, etc., that means they're going to need people to be there
in the summer break. Well, it's a little, isn't it a little after their summer break because it's 21st to 23rd?
Yeah, but FanFest doesn't just happen. It's a major
you have to build up to it.
They have to do a lot of work to go into it, and
that
work takes months.
Yeah, there's a lot of build up and kind of like
I don't know. I just thought it was a good idea to have the I thought that was a good change to have the fan fest in summer.
I get that and I understand and actually agree with what you're saying there, but I know people who've put on local regional conventions for shit, right? And their prep starts 6 months beforehand, at least.
Yeah.
That's at least.
I mean, hell, McLeod. If you remember when we were in,
ask Kuiper when he started prepping for each Eve Vegas. I'm pretty sure he'll tell you right after the last one ended.
Pretty much.
In fact, generally before. In terms of actually,
as soon as the details were done on the last one.
Yeah, just starting to figure stuff out.
Well, I mean, it's especially when it comes to sort of
before the event even happened.
Yeah, especially when it comes to booking event locations and stuff. You don't do that on the year that you're doing it. You want
but the booking end of it is the easy stuff for something.
Yeah, it is. But even so, that is definitely one of the few things that you do well in advance.
Right, but they're going to need to have their staff at work in Iceland during the summer when they're normally not.
Whatever, yeah. And I mean, Mac, just to give you,
they're putting it there. They're clearly happy about that. They're fine about that, or
they're not thinking about it.
They'll work out as to whether they're going to be happy about that or not. But
not thinking about it is probably the answer. But yeah, I mean,
they've confirmed it right there.
Obviously,
Yeah.
they've confirmed it. That just
Yeah,
Jesus.
in Q3,
Like
between two expansions.
they even team meet in London.
Yeah. Like that.
Like,
That's always takes ages.
That's a bar meet, right? That's like
Yes.
I've booked out like half of a bar, and
Yeah.
people are going
It
to
takes
turn
a
up.
while.
We were in London, and they already had the next date like sorted, which is
yeah.
the 11th of February for anybody who's watching and kind of in the UK or in Europe and around that time and wants to turn up and have some drinks. 11th of February.
Yep,
Even
11th February.
that there's a Discord
At
and
the
stuff.
at the oyster
At the oyster shed.
shed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
shed.
Shed.
But yeah, like the fact that they
I-
knew the date for the next event at the last
I've yet
event.
to. Yeah, I've yet
Kinda
to have a
tells you
single
everything.
oyster at the oyster shed. By the way, like
Really?
many
I don't know if they have
drinks.
them on the menu.
No oysters? Can you
I would
get,
expect them to have them on the menu.
do you guys have an
Like,
oyster shucking glove?
But also it's a bar. I'm not sure I'd go for oysters at a bar.
Oh,
You see, the
absolutely.
thing is, like, yeah.
Where else do you get
oysters?
Why
And
wouldn't
champagne
you?
apparently are a things in certain places in London in terms of bar scene.
Oh yeah,
Apparently, I don't know.
it's called a raw bar.
Looking
There
at
you go.
their a la carte, they've got like scallops and octopus and various other bits of fish. Oh, they do have oysters.
How many? Well, if
So,
it's
you
an
know, you go.
oyster
Like,
bar, you
I
have
would-
to have oysters.
I would have thought,
You've got, like-
naming your bar after oysters, you'd have to.
They've actually got a whole like section of the menu for oysters.
As
There you
it
go.
should.
See, as Eric says, as it should be.
They've got platters and everything.
As-
Well, we might have to try that next.
I
I
am.
mean, I don't think I've tried one before.
I
So,
am.
it'll be
You've
a new
never had an
experience for me.
oyster.
No,
Oh, wow.
I'm not that posh.
The oysters really have different tastes. It's really interesting. Really interesting.
Well, I mean, if they've got like a various different versions, like whole selection of it, then surely they definitely do.
Oh yeah, like you can buy them by the oyster as well.
I know that it used to be that oysters were actually considered to be, like lower class poor people's food for a long time.
People are just
So by the way,
And then it flipped, and then somehow it flipped, some way,
Yeah.
some shape, somehow it flipped.
lobster was food for the inmates in the U.S.
easy to catch.
See, this is how easy we can just like flip from talking about EVE Online to talking about food, like, in this show.
Well,
It's one
It
of those.
involved FanFest,
Welcome.
so
Welcome to the food section of the show.
But yeah, we could get like a platter of 8 oysters with herb
8?
butter and bacon and
8?
yeah.
How can you only eat 8
I'd be cool
oysters?
for doing that, though. Like new experience for me. Something yeah.
It's that bit where it's kind of like a
8? Only 8? What the hell? My daughter, she's like 11.
Like-
she's 12 and she can eat more than 8 oysters.
Like
it's a
I've had
fucking
mussels.
appetizer, Eric, alright?
Cool.
I've had mussels before, so like, and I like those, so it's fine. So
Jesus,
I never liked mussels, but then I had them.
I'm here looking at the calorie count for these 8 oysters, and it's like 1,100 calories, and I'm like,
What are you eating?
fuck my life, Christ.
They got any blue points on the menu? Those babies are good.
No.
Well, fleets are good.
They all look to be like, local to the UK, actually.
Throw the
Yeah, they're probably fished right out of the Thames, so they're basically toxic.
Well, blue points are
Well,
Long
that just
Island
says
Sound,
wrong.
New York. So there you go.
You said that, and we can't have the oysters anymore, Mac. Fuck's
well,
sake.
yeah, of course they are, Eric. They're caught off of Blue Point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, yeah.
But they are big and plump and yummy.
It was only said for comic effect that we can have them. It's fine.
Anything
I'm sure if they're selling them,
not suitable for human consumption.
I'm sure if they're selling them, they pass basic food safety hygiene standards. Like, you know, otherwise they'd be shut down by now.
What is the throw the URL for that menu over there, man?
I'll just drop it in chat.
Yeah, just drop it in chat.
I mean, it's.
Let's see what they got here. Let's see what they got here.
For bar food, it's kind of expensive, but it's also London, so
Yeah, you have to
look at it in that bit of.
Yeah, you have to add the London tax to it.
Yeah, the London tax is like an extra.
Which is
20%.
Have you guys had
extra
octopus?
20, extra 100 maybe.
Have you guys had octopus before?
Drinks. Sorry?
Octopus.
I don't
Of course.
particularly appreciate octopus. It's a bit chewy for me.
You know what? If it's
Generally.
made right, it is just super tender, like scallops.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting.
If it's made right, oh, it's phenomenal.
If it's made wrong, it's just rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's chewy, they didn't make it right.
I mean, that's
So if it's made in the UK, it's probably rubber.
But yeah, I've had it probably 2 or 3 times, and every time it's just been kind of chewy and not particularly appetizing.
Like go back over to the restaurants you were eating in while you were living in France, Dirk. Try it there.
Okay.
Okay, so those aren't really oyster Rockefellers, but they look really good. Okay, those will be wonderful. 8 oyster Rockefeller. You go through those like in 2 minutes, man. They're so good.
Yeah, like that whole platter just.
I think the oysters are a little pricey.
It's the London
a pricey
tax.
place. Yeah, it's.
Wow.
It's like eating in Manhattan.
Yeah.
If you go and like buy a pint, you're talking about like £6.50 a pint. It's like it's not cheap, but it's central London. That's really the only thing that you can kind of use to defend that is it's central London, and that's just how London is.
It's central London. If you're pulling if you're pulling an income outside of London and then going and spending it inside of London, then you're basically fucking yourself over. Like, because the idea is that, like, you know, the income that you get in London is somewhat, you know, put to a certain extent. To a certain point because of London prices.
People who are poor in London.
There is also this,
they're not eating oysters.
Yeah, that's also a very fair point.
What are you doing?
Probably not considering oysters.
What are you not spending 40 quid on, like, you know, 8 oysters? Like,
I mean,
let's be honest here. You know, instant ramen is still cheap in London.
I'm saying absolutely nothing about the amount I spent in August with you, McLeod.
There are a lot of Asian, like, you know, what is it, like supermarkets and stuff like that in London. So yeah. Anyway, what was that, Joe?
I'm saying absolutely nothing about the amount I spent when we were in London in August.
I'm not even talking about like you know, real ramen. I'm talking about, like, you know, buy it wrapped in plastic in a brick.
Yeah.
No, that's
you don't need an Asian supermarket for that.
No. I remember when that was like, what was that?
Normally,
like $5 for $1
cheap there
in college, right? The plastic in a brick.
Yeah,
$5 for $1 was great.
Yeah, uni student.
You can still get like, you know, 42 of them for $20.
You can still make that
they've
stuff.
They've gone all the way up to 50 cents each.
Yeah,
because it's not like that stuff is actually like flavorful in itself. Like you add flavor to it, so
it comes with an MSG packet.
Yeah, beef for chicken,
MSG
or
is
seafood,
just literally a flavor booster. So, you know, use that MSG packet somewhere. Like,
hey, look, those powder aren't for fucking show, McLeod. You've got to use them.
No, they're not for show. Like, who skimps on the MSG? Like, what the fuck?
I will admit that
if you did.
there is always a case of
skimp
that.
on it. Uncle Roger loves MSG. Like,
that's right.
There
right.
is there
It's
is
like cocaine to him. Like,
Damn right.
No MSG.
there probably right now is a case of those in our pantry right now, and the kids will take them and cook them and do different things with them. They won't use the packs.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they'll
absolutely
put their
should.
own stuff in it.
They absolutely you still use the powder pack.
I
That's
do.
the entire point of those things. Like,
No, my,
you don't buy them for the.
I mean, really, if you want to get clever, what you do is you use the powder pack, right? But you don't use it on the ramen. You use it on the stuff that you're putting in while you're making that separately.
Yeah, like
Well,
you've got some chicken in a pan. That powder pack goes in the chicken.
Right, exactly.
My one son will just cook them and just put soy sauce with them. That's how he likes them. And so then
It's
dad
so
gets
bland.
dad
Why
gets.
would you?
Hey,
I
don't.
mean, it is Pittsburgh.
Hey, this is the individual who doesn't eat any vegetables. Okay.
Jesus, was that my? That
I mean,
was
it
an
is
Uncle Roger
cheeseburger ketchup only. And when you sit there at McDonald's and you say cheeseburger ketchup only into the little squawk box, right? Invariably they say, "Do you want cheese on that?" I'm just saying, we just ordered the cheeseburger.
Yeah,
we didn't want cheese. But if we wanted the hamburger, we would have said hamburger ketchup only.
Yes, but they got sued for hot coffee being hot. They need to check.
Okay. That person needed to be removed from the gene pool. Okay, the coffee's freaking hot. Okay, I mean Jesus Christ. But it's
they don't want to get sued again, regardless of whether or not the decision eventually got reversed. They don't want to have to deal with it again. So yeah, they
you
asked.
want cheese on that cheeseburger.
It's not advertised as iced coffee.
I do recall,
it's gonna be hot coffee, but like
I do recall watching a Legal Eagle video about that to some degree, and there was other extenuating circumstances about the coffee was hot burning scenario situation.
I'm just saying, she put it in her lap between her legs.
Straightforward, not as straightforward as that, but yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, I have. Let's see, what time we got? We got 9 minutes left. Okay. So
Jesus, that one passed.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it really did. I do have a little bit of
once we got rid of Dawn,
and we started raging about Eve.
So, guys, you know the videos I posted in our little chat. So I've got this for the audience. I've got a little thing after the show, guys. After the show, we have a little Google form survey, unscientific, that you guys can watch in the audience. I'll send the link now, and I'll send it at the very, very end. You can go at the end of the show in 9 minutes or 8 minutes, and you can go watch it. And I want to know which is your favorite, and we'll announce that at the next show, right? So we'll let you know who won the survey. Okay. By the way, don't get mad at me because these are funny videos. Okay. The other one is I'll do my last thing later. But
funny videos. How dare you, sir?
Funny videos. So okay, keep going. You guys are all up.
You can't just throw it out like that. You have to direct it specifically at.
Okay, Cloud. Continue our conversation.
You're gonna tee yourself up
in terms of what? What is this last thing or what?
Yeah, we're gonna do. Let's do last thing because there's only 8 minutes.
We could do last thing.
7 minutes. Yeah,
like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I got a new hard drive.
What?
I got a new hard drive and it's like fucking massive.
How big is it?
I don't know if you can kind of see how big that is.
Hey, how big is your hard drive? Because
that's not
18 terabytes.
Lump of plastic.
Yeah,
that is a lump of plastic, but it does contain a hard drive.
Does it contain 2 being 18 terabytes? Like
no, it's a single drive because I don't like redundancy.
What's your spin ratio? 7,200, 5,400. What's the spin at?
It's probably 7,200.
Okay. Probably, you don't know. It wasn't
I'm fairly certain it is. Like
it's Western Digital. It's going to be 7,200.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to check the product page.
Doesn't say
But
on
it
the
is,
box.
and it doesn't say on the box specifically, but it is a non-shingled hard disk drive. So
Non-shingled.
Non-shingled.
Mac has a real issue with shingled hard disk drives.
Yeah, because
Shingles
they fucking
doesn't
suck.
care.
Okay, well done, Horrendous. Well done. You killed it.
Anyway, yeah, you killed it.
You killed it. Non-shingled hard drive. I hear there's a vaccine for the hard drives and shingles, so it's good. Older, hard drives can suffer from it once, So, all right. I don't know who's up. Dirk. You've been gone for so long. Let's have a nice little tirade out of you here at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I was fucking. I don't know if you've been watching the news in the UK, but basically everything in the news in the UK is about the fucking strikes and how our government is just completely shit, just absolutely, utterly dog shit. Resolving any kind of issue whatsoever. So the reason I've been gone so long is because I was up at my mum's for Christmas, as I've kind of already mentioned, and we had a good Christmas. But I was there for nearly 3 weeks. Thankfully, I could work remotely, so I didn't have to worry about that. I just took the laptop and whatever. But 3 weeks because of train strikes and when I could get trains and all the rest of it. It's just like an absolute pain in the ass. And Goonie DuPont, it's still an upgrade from the previous one, right? No. The Conservative government has never been good for us, will never be good for us, but you know what?
There's even graphs that showcase...
Have this weird idea that the Conservatives are good for us, and they're not. They just fuck up everything.
But Dirk,
Eric asked for a fucking rant, so he's getting one now.
No, just sitting there going, we never talk politics on the show, and I let you speak, and the first thing out of your mouth is politics.
Tell us how you.
Tell us how you really I'm sitting there going, I thought trains were only for that little wizard school in England. Okay, I didn't know you actually had real trains. I mean, don't you have like bicycles and shit?
Dirk. Just because they're no good for you, they managed to select their own leadership, right? Didn't take them a week.
They took them several tries. It didn't take them
my one.
They got it wrong then. Had to do it again.
Horrendous.
40 days later. 40 fucking days.
Horrendous. My one political comment on the show is going to be, I just really wish we might debate actual bills as much as we debated the Speaker of the House.
Look, this is okay. So my statement on this is not actually
come to blows, inside of the House of Commons about it, though. So there is that.
We actually had somebody go after someone else in the House last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but here's the thing. Here's the thing that irritates me about the whole thing. It's not what happened, okay? It's about the media coverage of it. The media kept demanding, well, how could they be doing this? I mean, who do they have that they can put forth to get it instead? What's their goal here? I mean, I don't know how many times they had to say it. Their goal was not that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
What you want is for him not to win. I don't need a viable solution. I just need to keep stopping him from winning.
Yeah, it was more than that. They wanted rules changes back to things that had been for hundreds of years, and they wanted committee assignments. That's what it's always about. Okay, electing the Speaker. It's about what you're going to get out of it, and they wanted something out of it.
And what they got was basically his head on a platter. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
I didn't mind it at all.
Today.
I didn't even mind it. It's just a process. I don't care.
So bringing this back to Dirk, I'm amazed that like the amount of time that you spent in Yorkshire, Dirk, like just
Isn't that a pudding?
reconnecting to your roots, to your the ancient
It's
roots that you
ancestral
have,
people.
your ancestral people in Yorkshire. Right? I'm amazed that your traditional Yorkshire accent hasn't sort of resurfaced.
Oh, there's a Yorkshire
It's
accent.
surprising to me.
Such a thing. So that's
Yeah,
kind
Dirk.
of what happens there.
Dirk, can
Uh.
you sound like a Yorkie?
Ooh.
I don't think they call them Yorkies.
Shh. I was gonna wait for him to try something and then say, no, you're supposed to be barking.
I'm not good at that one. I can kind of manage the Scot a little bit sometimes if I really, really feel like it. But like, I can't ever really manage the Yorkshire accent. That's a bit too.
You just have to think, what would Sean Bean say?
Sean Bean?
And
Well,
how would he say it? And there you go, you're good.
Isn't Sean Bean
Yeah,
a
one-
Lancashire man?
One does not just
I don't
simply
know.
walk
I have never-
into a Yorkshire pudding.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, he's
The differences and the enmity between Yorkshire and Lancashire, it definitely exists. It's definitely a thing, and you can't just go comparing the two.
I'm
I
just
saw
saying
Sheffield.
I'm just saying he was front and center on a Yorkshire tea advert, so that's good enough for me.
So he's from South Yorkshire.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
There you
Alright.
go.
Yeah. The
That's almost
think-
as bad.
You know, I just want to point out
How
that
would Sean Bean say? There you go.
that Dirk has crammed all the time in his one last thing from all the time he's not been here. Okay. I mean,
But yeah, like you asked for something, and you,
if this were the Academy Awards, they would have started the music playing like a long time ago.
But no, my last thing is actually kind of being annoyed at having bought a new phone case and not getting the skin that came with it. Like today, I ordered a new phone case from D-Brand, which is a Canadian company, and I ordered it like more than a week ago, and it finally arrived today. And there's kind of a section on the back which should generally have like a cover or skin or like just something to make it pop a little. And I ordered one of those to go along with it, which was real leather. Looked quite nice in the pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, they only managed to send me the case.
That doesn't. You know what? That doesn't sound very like vegan, like real leather. I mean, that's.
I'm not a vegan.
I mean, there's a cow.
And anybody who's ever
you know what you
food
should
with me will know that I'm not a vegan.
Dirk, you know what you should do? You should go onto Twitter and you should be really outspoken on how much of a vegan you really aren't while eating pizza, and definitely take a photo or a video of it.
That sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah, but like you get a lot of attention apparently, according from what I've seen.
I'm not too interested in the attention. Thanks for the idea, though.
Yeah.
You get what I'm referencing, though, right?
No, we don't.
The
Just remember, the oysters are not alive when you eat them. Okay, when you shuck them, they die.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
When you cook them, they die.
No, when you shuck them.
Well, they're
dead.
Rockefellers, so you cook them, yeah.
Rockefellers are good. I'm a fan of the I'm also a fan of the Savannah oyster, which is pretty much cheddar cheese and bacon on top of them. So.
Veritas in Twitch chat saying police in the UK will probably stop by and tell Dirk he's offending somebody. We don't have enough police officers for that because
you
they're all too busy trying to. No, police officers aren't allowed to strike.
No, they're not allowed.
They're the only people in the UK that are not allowed to strike.
Yeah,
Well,
because if they strike, then civil disorder can run rampant.
Actually,
I was going to say, if they strike, who do you get to beat them down?
Yeah, the armed forces aren't allowed to strike either.
Well, I guess that answers that question.
But yeah, no, the police are too busy not solving crimes to stop by and tell me I'm offending somebody.
Yeah. The top story of today is Chinese players were able to Python inject, and it was fined by CCP.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's our top story of the day.
Are able to what?
We're Python inject into the game.
You missed this when we were having the
Did you miss
conversation.
this? Did you miss this, Horrendous?
He did
Like,
miss
Yes, I
it.
did.
Apparently, it's fine when Chinese players violate the terms of service, but no, not for everybody else.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
What exactly is Python injecting? It's changing the game client. As
Redline
Redline, whatever. Yeah, they're hacking the code.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing good. But CCP say that's fine according to.
Hey, no big deal.
For Chinese players, by the way, not for anyone else. Anyone else, you'll get banned. Just to let you guys know.
That makes perfect sense to me. Really.
I'm amazed as to what Horrendous gets angry about and what he doesn't get angry about. It is.
CCP has dreams of being a successful corporation. Of course, they're going to suck China's dick.
Fair enough.
Family show.
And that is the headline for today.
Holy crap! We're all going to hell.
I would like.
show, and he follows it up with "Holy crap!"
I would like to say before we go though that thank you to Redline 2001 and Zenobi for the subs.
Yep, and we had a ton of
and all the follows, by the way, guys. We like the follows as well.
Alrighty.
I mean, getting mad about that's just so pointless, really.
By the way, I'm going to put a for my. Did everybody else do their one last thing? Horrendous?
Being pointlessly mad.
What?
Did you do your one last thing, Horrendous and McLeod? I can't remember anymore.
I did.
Dirk
didn't.
Was an 18-minute one last thing.
Okay,
so
well, one last. My one last thing. Go find the Instagram that Dwayne Johnson posted of his kids getting their guinea pigs for Christmas. It is worth it, and you will enjoy the hell out of it.
That sounds like wholesome fun.
There you go, Eric. Wholesome family show crap.
Wholesome family show. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got. Yeah,
that's all I need.
It was one last thing. It wasn't 101 last.
I'm going to.
It wasn't try to be Dirk.
Wasn't try to be Dirk. I'm going to post for my one last thing. I'm going to post 2 little links here in our little thing. Right? Remember, we want to see which video you like best. Okay, which is your favorite? So there's that link. All right.
Rick wants to see which video you like best.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get our guinea pigs to be famous. So if you wanna follow us over there at the Guinea Dudes, we'll be live probably in a half an hour or so. Yeah, feed them some peppers. See if they like peppers today. We know they like romaine lettuce. Like basically, they walk around with romaine lettuce like it's.
Of course, they like lettuce.
Hey, well, let's put it this way. No, they walk around with the romaine lettuce things and beat the shit out of each other with it. It's like, no, it's mine. Whack, whack, whack. Like it's a dog bone. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They're hilarious.
Speaking of live in 30 minutes or so, we do not have a meta show today. We are all you got for the day for your
suck it
Yeah,
news content.
did Brisk respond to me? Because I knew he was doing a thing, but I wasn't sure if it was going to impact.
I was looking at Brisk's Twitter, and I found a tweet that says that they're postponing the start of season 4 of the Meta Show. So that's coming next week with a new co-host of some sort, but not today. So unfortunately,
new co-host.
We are all she wrote for your EVE Online talk show content today. Sorry if you feel disappointed by that, but we had a ton of fun with it. So
I think we pointed to very, very specific things about CCP's development and were angry about it enough to for it to be a corresponding meta-like kind of moment.
And Dirk. So
CCP is still shit at some things.
God, it's the Noriko.
We can,
what was that?
I guess, see you next week and completely gloss over that moment, McLeod.
Yes.
I got over it as it happens.
We'll,
Thanks
we'll,
for
we'll,
watching,
we'll see what
guys.
happens. Take
We'll
care.
see you later.
Bye
Here we
bye.
go. Bye.